Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The mental attitude that something is believable and should be accepted as true. Acceptance of Newtonian mechanics was unquestioned for 200 years. A disposition to tolerate or accept people or situations. Banking. A time draft drawn on and accepted by a bank. The act of accepting with approval, favorable reception. The proposal found wide acceptance. Contract law. Words signifying consent to the terms of an offer, thereby creating a contract. The act of taking something that is offered. Her acceptance of the gift encouraged him. The state of being acceptable and accepted. Torn jeans received no acceptance at the country club. A kind of sideboard or buffet. The mental attitude that something is believable and should be accepted as true. He gave credence to the gossip. A disposition to tolerate or accept people or situations. Patient endurance, especially of pain or distress. A disposition to tolerate or accept people or situations. All people should practice toleration and live together in peace. Official recognition of the right of individuals to hold dissenting opinions, especially in religion. Banking. A time draft drawn on and accepted by a bank. The accepted meaning of a word. The act of accepting with approval, favorable reception. Acceptance as true or valid. The appropriation of ideas or words, etc., from another source. The act of accepting with approval, favorable reception. Its adoption by society. A legal proceeding that creates a parent-child relation between persons not related by blood. The adopted child is entitled to all privileges belonging to a natural child of the adoptive parents, including the right to inherit. The act of becoming betrothed or engaged. The act of accepting with approval, favorable reception. Archaic terms for a wedding or wedding feast. A complex mental state involving beliefs and feelings and values and dispositions to act in certain ways. The arrangement of the body and its limbs. He assumed an attitude of surrender. A complex mental state involving beliefs and feelings and values and dispositions to act in certain ways. He had the attitude that work was fun. A theatrical pose created for effect. The actor struck just the right attitude. Position of aircraft or spacecraft relative to a frame of reference, the horizon or direction of motion. A disposition to allow freedom of choice and behavior. A disposition to allow freedom of choice and behavior. A permissible difference. Allowing some freedom to move within limits. The act of tolerating something. The power or capacity of an organism to tolerate unfavorable environmental conditions. Willingness to recognize and respect the beliefs or practices of others. A document ordering the payment of money, drawn by one person or bank on another. A document ordering the payment of money, drawn by one person or bank on another. A large and hurried swallow. The act of moving a load by drawing or pulling. A preliminary sketch of a design or picture. Compulsory military service. A serving of drink, usually alcoholic, drawn from a keg. They served beer on draft. A dose of liquid medicine. He took a sleeping draft. Draw up an outline or sketch for something. Draft a speech. A document ordering the payment of money, drawn by one person or bank on another. Engage somebody to enter the army. Any of the various versions in the development of a written work. A preliminary draft. Make a blueprint of. The depth of a vessel's keel below the surface, especially when loaded. A current of air, usually coming into a chimney or room or vehicle. A regulator for controlling the flow of air in a fireplace. The formal act of approving. Expressing or manifesting praise or approval. A desirable state. Enjoy the blessings of peace. The formal act of approving. He gave the project his blessing. The act of praying for divine protection. A short prayer of thanks before a meal. A ceremonial prayer invoking divine protection. The formal act of approving. His decision merited the approval of any sensible person. Acceptance as satisfactory. He bought it on approval. A message expressing a favorable opinion. Words of approval seldom passed his lips. A feeling of liking something or someone good. Although she fussed at them, she secretly viewed all her children with approval. Agreement with a statement or proposal to do something. He gave his assent eagerly. To agree or express agreement. The maestro assented to the request for an encore. Agreement with a statement or proposal to do something. A murmur of acquiescence from the assembly. Acceptance without protest. An ability that has been acquired by training. The cognitive process of acquiring skill or knowledge. The child's acquisition of language. Something acquired. A recent acquisition by the museum. The act of contracting or assuming or acquiring possession of something. The acquisition of wealth. The general state of things, the combination of circumstances at a given time. Wondered how such a state of affairs had come about. A condition or position in which you find yourself. The unpleasant situation, or position, of having to choose between two evils. A job in an organization. Physical position in relation to the surroundings. The general state of things, the combination of circumstances at a given time. The present international situation is dangerous. A complex or critical or unusual difficulty. The dangerous situation developed suddenly. Approval. Give her recognition for trying. The process of recognizing something or someone by remembering. A politician whose recall of names was as remarkable as his recognition of faces. The state or quality of being recognized or acknowledged. The partners were delighted with the recognition of their work. Coming to understand something clearly and distinctly. A sudden recognition of the problem he faced. An acceptance, as of a claim, as true and valid. The recognition of the Rio Grande as a boundary between Mexico and the United States. Biology. The ability of one molecule to attach to another molecule that has a complementary shape. Molecular recognition drives all of biology. For instance, hormone and receptor or antibody-antigen interactions are the organization of molecules into larger biologically active entities. Designation by the chair granting a person the right to speak in a deliberative body. He was unable to make his motion because he couldn't get recognition by the chairman. The explicit and formal acknowledgement of a government or of the national independence of a country. Territorial disputes were resolved in Guatemala's recognition of Belize in 1991. A philosophical doctrine holding that all events are predetermined in advance for all time and human beings are powerless to change them. A submissive mental attitude resulting from acceptance of the doctrine that everything that happens is predetermined and inevitable. An acceptance of yourself as you are, warts and all. Include in scope. Include as part of something broader. Have as one's sphere or territory. A close, affectionate and protective acceptance. His willing embrace of new ideas. The act of clasping another person in the arms, as in greeting or affection. Take up the cause, ideology, practice, method, of someone and use it as one's own. She embraced Catholicism. Hold someone tightly in your arms, usually with fondness. They embraced. The state of taking in or encircling. An island in the embrace of the sea. A close, affectionate and protective acceptance. In the bosom of the family. The locus of feelings and intuitions. Her story would melt your bosom. Either of two soft fleshy milk secreting glandular organs on the chest of a woman. Hold someone tightly in your arms, usually with fondness. A person's breast or chest. Cloth that covers the chest or breasts. Hide in one's bosom. She bosomed his letters. The chest considered as the place where secret thoughts are kept. His bosom was bursting with the secret. Bid welcome to. Greet upon arrival. Accept gladly. I welcome your proposals. A greeting or reception. The proposal got a warm welcome. Giving pleasure or satisfaction or received with pleasure or freely granted. A welcome relief. Receive someone, as into one's house. The state of being welcome. Don't outstay your welcome. A statement acknowledging something or someone. The state or quality of being recognized or acknowledged. She seems to avoid much in the way of recognition or acknowledgement of feminist work prior to her own. A short note recognizing a source of information or of a quoted passage. The acknowledgements are usually printed at the front of a book. A statement acknowledging something or someone. She must have seen him but she gave no sign of acknowledgement. The state or quality of being recognized or acknowledged.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.